Hey, how's everyone doing today? I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my spiritual journey and why I'm even here and talking about all of this and what brought me here. Um, because a little over 3 years ago, I'd never even heard of awakening. And what happened was I met my partner, and my daughter and I ended up moving in with him about a little over 3 years ago. And we went to bed one night and he had turned on the TV, and it was a guy named Matthias De Stefano. And I would be really surprised if you are on this awakening journey if you haven't heard of him. But he is what he calls himself a memory cell. And he remembers all his past lives. He remembers even 12,000 years ago being an Atlantean. And I remember just being really interested, like overly interested. My body reacted to what we were watching. And I asked him, what is this? Like, what is happening? And what are we watching? And he told me it's this dude. His name's Matthias, and he's really interesting to watch. And he was talking about awakening and ascending and remembering and all of these things that were spiritual. And at that point, I couldn't have even told you the difference between religious and spirituality. To me, everything was religion and it was all bad. And but this guy, Matthias, talking, every cell in my body was like, keep it on this channel. Something is happening and I need to keep listening. And I did. I kept listening. I kept watching him. And then we started kind of watching Ancient Aliens and a couple of other things that kind of went together with that. And I was just like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I've always had this void of who I am, where I'm from, what I'm doing, and like I said, the Christian religion just it was such a bad taste in my mouth. And if you are Christian, I am not judging. The church I went to, I struggled with. My parents struggled with. They don't go anymore. They've seen. And I don't hold it against them. They did what they thought was best. Everybody was going to that church and everybody was doing this and that, and they were following suit. But they did realize that once my dad's best friend got fired, who was the, I don't know what number pastor in a line of how many that were fired, they were over it. And they were kind of seeing, this is not Christian, this is judgment. Period. It's judgment. Like, if you didn't follow their rules, they kicked you out. My sister got kicked out of youth group for being pregnant. Instead of help, she got kicked out. So that's the kind of church I was raised in. So you can imagine that my flavor in the taste in my mouth for religion was not good. But this didn't feel like religion, even though they were talking about source and God and the light and all the things. It resonated with me on such a level that I couldn't deny it. And so I'm watching it and I'm learning it, and I'm realizing this is absolute truth. Like, there is nothing anybody could have said or done that would have taken this away from me as absolute truth. I believed it with every cell in my being, with it on like day 3, maybe even on the first day. And I didn't even fully understand what I was watching, but his words were true. And I'm an empath. I am such an empath. I can tell truth from not. And his eyes and his language and his body language and everything to do with him was truth. And so I began my path of figuring out what is awakening. And I want to fucking do it. I want to do it too. Like, what is this? And so I went on to start watching other things as well. I watched Matthias. I mean, I still watch him, 3 some years later. And I still do meditations that he puts on. And now I watch Aaron Doughty, and I watch Vic Otto, and Clark Kegley. You know, there's so many really insightful people. And I've done so much research and I've read so many books since then that that's how I got started. And then as I started reading and researching on my own, I realized not only is this truth, I have to share it. I have to tell everybody, because with the life that I've lived and the experiences that I've had, for my void to be filled that quickly, I just, like I said, I knew it to be true. And I've always shared, you know, if you've followed my journey on first Facebook, then TikTok, now YouTube, I've always been open and raw. You know, this is my truth. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going through. This is ugly, but you're going to see it. This is beautiful and you're going to watch it. You know, I've always shared truth because I believe that sharing your truth is really the answer to helping. Because if someone's going through something horrific and the other person, me, who's gone through it, or whoever, doesn't share it, how is that person going to know that they're not alone? Because oftentimes, if you're in an abusive relationship or you're in addiction or you're in something in over your head, you know, you are alone because of shame, because of people judging, because of families who won't accept and help and they kick out instead, like the church. And so I've always been that person. I've been an advocate for domestic violence, sexual assault, and trafficking. And I've worked at a drug and alcohol rehab center as a residential assistant slash medical assistant. So I did a lot of peer counseling there. I had a complete caseload at the advocacy center for 5-6 years, you know, and it taught me a lot of things. I wish I would have known about this before I was an advocate. I wish I would have known about this before I lost my daughter. Like, I wish I would have known about this, because I promise you, this is absolute truth. And it isn't religion, it is spiritual. And we are spiritual beings. And so it resonates. It resonates correct, because that's who we are. We're energy, we are electric, we are spiritual. And it just is. Like, I wish I had a better way to tell you that this is truth, but it just is truth. Like, the further I go every day, the further I delve into this, the more meditations I do, the more research I do, the more alive I feel. And you all know what I've just been through. You know, today's my daughter's 26th birthday. Happy birthday, Holly. I love you. And on the 13th is my daughter's 28th birthday, who is forever 27. And I look for signs, you know, I look for angel signs. I look for any signs the universe sends out. And I've been sitting here wondering, you know, what the hell am I going to do on the 13th? It's not only my daughter's birthday, the first one without her here, but it's my other daughter, Poppy's death day, the same day. And my man's out on the fires, so I'm alone. You know, Jill goes to school. She's home now because it's the weekend. But I'm home alone, and I've been really worried about the 13th. And then I get this invite. Say hi real quick, Jill, but let me finish, okay? Hi. Okay, go play, baby. I get this invite, and it wasn't just me, you know, but I accepted it, from Vic Otto and Aaron Doughty and Matt, and I'm sorry I don't know Matt's last name yet, but to start this coaching thing, and it's just this learning thing starting on the 13th. And I thought, my God, you know, like, I watch these guys avidly. They're amazing. They're truth. And they start this thing on the 13th of September, which is like by far the worst day of my life every year. And now I have something to look forward to and something to start. And I don't have to just wake up that morning and not know what to do with myself. Like, I have a goal. And if that's not a sign, you know, I don't know what is. And so I'm so grateful and I'm so excited about that. It's going to be a hard day. Oh yeah, it's going to be a hard day. But I get to delve into this spirituality and learning with these amazing humans on that day. So I can do, a couple different things. I can mope around and be sad for something that I can't change, or I can celebrate the time I had with my girls and start this new journey. And that's what I'm going to do, because the universe provided that. Like, they didn't have to pick the 13th. It could have been any day, but they picked September 13th. And like I said, my family's motto, our theme song is "Wake Me Up When September Ends," because September is that hard for us. So what a blessing. I can't thank you guys enough. Victor, Matt, Aaron, I can't thank you enough. And I'm excited to get to learn. I've been doing a lot of Aaron's meditations, and they're incredible. One of them is absolutely life-changing the second you do it. And I get to learn from them. And I'm honored. I'm honored. I'm not cocky. I'm honored. And I'm so grateful for the message and for the sign of it being on the 13th of September. What more can I ask for? So on that note, I've been watching my angel signs, and I'm writing them down every day, and each week I'm going to go over which angel sign was the most prominent for the day and the week. And so, like, say Friday, I saw 4477223344111111 55511. And so I'll look at that, and I'll look at which is the most. Obviously, on that day, the ones came in ahead. On Thursday, I saw 22442244662244. So 2 and 4 and 4 came in ahead that day. And 444. So it was fours that day. And then I'm going to look at what those angel signs mean, and I'm going to talk about that at the end of each week, because that's a guide for me. I'm watching these signs, and their meaning is the guide. I cannot pay attention. I cannot notice the numbers around me, the times, the number of subscribers, the number of likers on a video, whatever it is, likes, and that is the universe guiding me. But I'm getting a little off here. My whole point was to tell you how I got into this, and that was honestly Matthias De Stefano. Jill, can I have you go play for a minute, please? Instead of doing that, it's very distracting, and I'm online, and you know that I am. It started with Matthias, and then I started watching Ancient Aliens, which I really love Ancient Aliens, but it's kind of hard to watch now that I know other things. That one's kind of is this what's happening? We're guessing. But now I feel like I know what happened. So it's kind of hard to be like, no, dude, it wasn't that. But it is a good show. It's a fun show. And yes, there are other species among us. They just don't have it. They've set that show up to where it's like, let's figure it out. But so many people already have it figured out. And so I get a little weary of that one now. But again, it's a really, really, really good show. My phone is like barely standing on this little stand that wants to fall over. So that's why I'm moving all over. Anyway, so it was just really incredible. Like, for number one, I was never going to have another boyfriend again. I was abused. I'd had it. I was done. And I stayed completely isolated with my daughter for 6 years. And then I met Randon under unusual circumstances, which you will figure out and find out when we do our podcast together. He literally got called out on a fire the day before we were supposed to do the podcast on alcoholism with his ex-wife, or his wife. His wife, who passed away. And our story comes along with that. And so meeting him, well, you'll find out, because I didn't even meet him. I already knew him. Me being, bless you, me being so set on staying single and isolating, and then not only coming together with Randon, but moving in with him and making this beautiful family and inheriting more family. His kids are amazing, and they know my kids, you know, and sorry, all that. All of that is what brought me here to that TV in that room to watch Matthias, to start this whole adventure and path that I'm on that has changed my life. Like, I feel like I am a different person even with losing my daughter this year because of all this. And everything fell into place exactly as it should, even down to starting work with Vic and Aaron on the 13th, on my daughter's birthday. You know, what more can I ask for? What more can I ask for as far as signs from the universe? Which is exactly why this is real. This is truth. I am. And I can see I am. I can see it in you. I can see it in me. I can see us all as one, the law of one, which means that we all come from the same entity, meaning we are all the same entity, meaning we are all the creator. So if you believe that you're the creator and you believe your creations, voila, there you have it. And you have to do work. You know, you can't just sit here and be like, sweet, this is what I want, I'm going to have it. No, you got to start the work. Like, this is a lot of my work. Not all of it, but every day I'm meditating, I'm writing, I'm studying, and I'm happy along with grieving. I'm happy along with grieving for my oldest daughter. That's something in itself. And for anyone who's local, I'm doing an art thing on the 21st of September. And if you're interested, I will tell you when, where, and how. I'll be live painting. There will be art classes. There will be a lot of things going on, lots of fun. And that's another thing, you know, I'm doing things. I'm not just sitting. You know, I'm actively doing things because I have this newfound reason to be alive. You know, of course, to be alive is for Jill and Holly and my grandkids. But I can't lie, you know, it's not easy. But each new thing that I find gives me more of a reason to live while I'm alive. And I just want this for you guys. You know, I know most of my friends and family are so weary of this, and it really breaks my heart because it's not a religion. It's nothing different. It's just broadening your view of the world to not be just revolving around you. You know, it's loving plants, talking to plants, you know, knowing that they're a part of us. We're a part of them. We're light beings. Plants live off of light. They're light beings. You know, it's just broadening your view from, I want the newest cell phone, I want the newest this and that and this and that, you know, to, I don't give a fuck about that. I want to be happy and I want to be in nature and I want to awaken. It just, it's hard to explain unless you take that leap. And let me tell you, it's the last leap you'll take, and it's the most beautiful leap you'll take. I never thought in a million years that I could be one of those people that people would look at and think they were happy. Because I haven't been. I've been grieving my entire fucking life. And I'm happy. I'm happy in my relationship. I'm happy as a mother. And I'm happy in myself. In who Missy is, having a human experience with all of you right now. You know, it's fucking incredible. So I hope you guys have a good day. I'm going to go play with my babes. I'll see you soon.